Okay, hi. I have 3%, so I don't know what's going to happen here, but I want to ask Grandma Anna, because I actually have a Grandma Ann, so I don't want to say that. But she's more than a friend. She feels like a grandma. I want to keep her a grandma, even though Crony was hilarious. That was hilarious. I want to ask her, okay, what advice does she have with me and like discipline? Because I understand I need to be more disciplined. I get it. Where do I start? Whatever. And also, what's the relationship between scapegoat, sacrifices, and betrayal? And what is it? What are all the mystery schools related? And whatever. That's going to be more than 3% can record anyway. Dear Kelly, thank you for giving me your attention. I just have so many questions. I have so many questions. Well, you're embodying the answers, Kelly. Okay? As you live it, you learn it, you then know it, and you become it, and in that way you share it. You teach by example. So it's funny that you should ask about becoming disciplined and then about sacrifices, because the sacrifices that God asks of you are to sacrifice the things that are keeping you from your highest self. Okay? And in story form, that can take on the form of a betrayal. And one of your questions is, why does this holographic story of betrayal play out again and again and again? Because there was a betrayal when the son wanted to be separate from God. There was a betrayal. You know, the son decided he wasn't loyal. So part of the projection is the guilt around that. And the way to heal guilt is to forgive the judgments that you made in the first place. So once you make a sacrifice that's meaningful to you, you feel the burn of losing something. You feel the cut and the wound. And then you survive. And then you don't feel so bad about it happening because you survive it. And in that sense, you forgive yourself for leaving God in the first place, because it's such a horrible guilt that happens when we reject God. We feel subconsciously guilty about it. And that subconscious guilt is what's creating reality. It's what creates the ego. So this is multidimensional understanding. And we've given it to you in echoes so that you can take it in at your own pace. Okay? And those echoes become a hall of mirrors. And you can get lost in it. And some of the mirrors are wobbly, and some of the mirrors make you look this way, and you know, and some of them make you feel upside down, and that's how it's a stage and a drama. And you can't leave until you're ready to leave. And the readiness comes from integrating the opposites that are opposite due to judgment. The judgment makes them opposite. And what the definitions of that judgment and what those look like, that's unique to everybody. So we give you things in metaphor so that you can take the metaphor and apply it to your specific circumstances. So be where you are now, Kelly, because where you are now, before and after all the sacrifices are made, is where you have the next step of your learning. It's where you are right now. And where you are right now is a variety of contrast. contrast is the experience of where you are in the spectrum of opposites, of whatever those opposites are, whatever theme those take on. Your experience of contrast in this world is your experience of where do you prefer to be on that spectrum? That's duality, contrast, and spectrums of light and dark, of opposites. So there are things you have control over and there are things you don't have control over. And it's hard when you don't have control over something you want, because the contrast is building that desire of wanting, the contrast that you've experienced since birth in this lifetime, the opposites, the opposing opinions that you've ever heard, the opposing stories, the frequencies that are invisible that you've felt, everything. You have preferences because of the contrast that you've experienced. And those contrasts are multidimensional. They're truth and lies. Okay? It's really hard to explain to you in words. It's really hard to explain to you guys with your language, because it's almost like, don't you think the dominant language on the planet is going to be one that cannot communicate these things? Right? Because oh my God, someone's coming. All right, that's good enough. Someone's coming, and so I just want to keep walking. I don't know, let's see what they say. They probably live there. So sacrifice and discipline. So, getting disciplined is going to require a sacrifice of your laziness and comfort. And you're like, oh, it sounds scary, but actually it's going to be fun. And you're avoiding it because of some fears that are programmed into you. So once you make that sacrifice, you won't be scared anymore. And you'll learn a new aspect of yourself that was limited. Oh, okay. Okay, I like where this is going, but I